I think two of these is better than one.
Dave Palumbo here with an RxMuscle news update. Nick Walker, the mutant himself, has finally made his announcement as to what show he will be doing next. And the answer, as you saw in the intro, was the New York Pro. Nick cited the fact that, while he would have liked to do the Arnold Classic, it was just too soon. Obviously, he needed a break. He tore his hamstring going into the Olympia prep the last week, wasn't able to compete. He had to let that heal up. He got back into the gym, and obviously he just felt that there was just not enough time to prep for this show. Look, Nick Walker's won the Arnold before. I'm sure he wanted to win $300,000. I'm sure he wanted to get up on that stage and compete against Samson Dauda and Hadi Choopan, assuming that that Hadi makes it. But it just wasn't in the cards, and I guess the next best show, especially since Steve Weinberger really raised up that prize money, would be the New York Pro. Prestige-wise, he won that already. The prize money's higher. He's got to requalify. He made it very clear that they were not going to be providing him with a special invite to the Olympia, so he had to pick a show to do. The Arnold obviously would have been ideal just because of the prize money, that he could have won, but he's got to make sure he's at his best. And who knows better than Nick Walker, how he's feeling. We can sit back as armchair quarterbacks and look at his pictures on Instagram and say, hey, this guy, and I said it, this guy should jump in the Arnold Classic. I mean, he looks great. He's always in shape. But he wants to make sure that when he shows up, he's at his absolute best. So I know a lot of people have texted me and said, what do you think? Is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? You know what? There are no good and bad ideas. It only serves the person who's making the decision. So only Nick Walker knows what the right decision for him is. I can say this, I can say that, other people can say this and that, and it sounds great and everything, but he knows when his body's ready, and he knows when he's going to be at his all-time best, and he feels that waiting that extra couple months, giving him the chance to just get into a little bit better shape, maybe add back a little bit more muscle, or whatever he thinks he needs to do to refine his body. The New York Pro time frame works very well for him in that first or second week in May, whenever it's being held this year. So, and I'm sure Steve Weinberg is thrilled to have him in that lineup. That's obviously going to sell out that crowd there in Teaneck, New Jersey, where they hold it, because everyone wants to come see Nick Walker, the freak. And, the New York crowd loves big freaky bodybuilders. Throughout the years, where it used to be called Night of Champions into New York Pro, we've always seen the New York crowd probably be the loudest and most, and if they don't like you, they'll boo you. If they love you, they'll cheer for you. And there's a lot of energy in that place. So that might be just the momentum lift that Nick needs leading into the Olympia. He also made it very clear that he was predicting not only a victory at New York Pro, but a victory at the Olympia for 2024 in Las Vegas.
I am going to win and come back strong, better than what I was going to be last year, and get the Mr. Olympia title. That's how this is going to go.
He said this year, the Olympia is his. He's going to win it. There's no doubt in his mind. Just watch out, everyone else. And that's the level of confidence we've grown to see from Nick Walker. He seems to be very sure of himself. He has a great physique to back it up. He never shows up out of shape. He's still got youth on his side. He had that little setback with the injury going into last year's Olympia, I should say. And you know what? He came out like a champ. He's been training hard. There's no evidence that I can see of an injury. He obviously just probably pulled a very small hamstring muscle, which happened. I pulled one playing basketball with my son, and it looked terrible. It was a little tiny little thread I probably popped back there, and I was hobbling around on it. And you can't train; it's very sensitive. And I got all black and blue back there, just from a small, probably a quarter of what happened to him, I'm sure. So, you know what? Sometimes things happen for a reason. Nick Walker was not in the Olympia in 23. He's not going to be at this Arnold Classic, but we're going to see his debut in 24 here at the New York Pro. and then we'll obviously see him at the Olympia. I don't see who's going to beat him at New York Pro, but I'm sure if for some reason he didn't win, we would see him compete again, probably within the next couple weeks after that. I suspect that Nick Walker will probably be this year's New York Pro champion, and he'll add another ring, as he made very clear, to his fingers, because every person who wins the New York Pro not only gets a really nice prize package, I think they're up to $25,000 this year for first place, but they also get a really nice New York Pro championship ring that Steve Weinberger has commissioned every year, and it's absolutely beautiful, and it's great because it's something that you'll always have, and I think it's a good idea. Stuff like that's cool. Trophies and everything are cool, but you know what? If you can wear a ring, that's kind of cool. Look at all the guys who win the Super Bowls and the basketball championships. It's always nice to have that ring on your finger, and people always know where you got it from. I'm surprised they don't give a ring at the Olympia, to be quite honest. That would be something cool that they might want to consider adding to that prize package, because it just kind of signifies something special. I know the Sandow is great to have on your mantelpiece, but the ring you can wear on your finger, and that's always pretty cool. So Nick Walker, final decision, New York Pro will be his debut. Dave Palumbo with an RxMuscle news update.